Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my makeup diaries. So you're going to see 7 different looks from 7 different days, and I'm going to kind of walk you through all the products that I've used, all the shades I've used, and you're going to see some new products that I'm working on and testing and hauling, and some older products that I'm panning or trying to finish up. So it's kind of like a mix of everything. Hopefully you're gonna enjoy that. You're gonna see a lot of my projects in this video, so just keep watching. And in case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows, I love testing beauty. And every single week I film one of these diaries so that you can get inspired on maybe what eyeshadow combinations you can use, what palette you can get into your collection, and what face products work or don't work. So it's kind of like a mini review every single day. Now, let's get into this look. This look was actually inspired by one of the looks that I saw. I was recently going through my favorite videos that I have in a folder on YouTube, and I had one of Sophie Alexander's video. I think it was one of her like panning content, and she had a similar look to this, and I just fell in love. I've been doing the opposite version of this, where like the yellow orange is in the front and then the purple is in the back, but thanks to her I decided to flip it today. So she inspired me to do this look, and I'll start with my brows. So for my brows, I'm using the Smitten palette from Deodorant because obviously I've colored my hair and I wanted my hair to, or like my brows to match my hair, so I used the shade Red Meow. I think I've used Doe Beans once before, and then I realized that I could use this shade as well. Maybe it's gonna work better, so that's what I'm using today. I think it's a perfect match, like it looks so believable. So that is something that I've used for my brows, together with the Maybelline Super Lock Brow Glue. I use it every single day. I don't have any other brow product right now. And then my eyeshadow primer is the Catrice Grip to Last eyeshadow primer. And for the purple matte shade, I started with this Adventure Time palette from Little Cosmetics. It's the Candy Kingdom palette. And I used the shade Cotton Candy Forest, this light shade, in the first half. And then in the second half, I've worked on the Serpent palette by Makeup Beauty Shop in collaboration with Martha's Makeup. So I've used the shade Forewarning. This one, this neon yellow. And then in the outer part, a little bit, I also use the Salmon Tupa by Uden's Eye. And the shade I'm currently trying to hit a pan on, which is the shade Solar. It's like, it's so close. And I thought I'm gonna get a pan today, but no, it's still not there. It's probably gonna take me maybe like 1 or 2 more uses. But the dip is insane. So I feel like we have to be there soon. And I used the yellow and the orange on my lower lash line. And then I'm using the Shine On Shimmer Primer from Cleonat, and on my lids is from the Glam Shop Sorbetty palette, the shade Ooh, this one, so that's over there. And then I also used a little bit of the Merce Citrine, just to make it like slightly more sparkly. Then the inner half is Candy Elemental, this one, and in the inner corner I have the Candy Cane Guy. Then I have this Revolution Streamline eyeliner pencil in yellow in my waterline. I just love yellow waterline. The Super Stay Concealer from Maybelline. Then this Essence All Eyes on Me mascara all over my lashes. And then I mixed for my blush, I mixed the shade Sox Mirabelki and the shade Nepozorny to create a blush, a orange blush. And then the Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette and the shade Pluto, this one, that I mixed in with the shade Essentia Zbroskveni as my highlighter. And then I have this Odin Eye and Angelica Nyquist matte lipstick from the Halloween bundle. And this one is Swamp Folk. Yes, Swamp Folk. That I'm trying to pan right now. I think that's everything that I have on. So let me know what you think about this look, if you're enjoying it. And now let's get into the next look. Hi guys, so today for my eyeshadows, I've actually built a new duping palette, which is the Krypton Cosmetics Sunset Symphony, I believe that's how it's called. And I've used a couple of the shades for this very fun look. So I actually have this shade, which I think is called, it's from the Ocean Jewel palette by Bella Beauty Bar, and I will put on the screen how it's called. And the other shade from that palette is this deep blue. I think this is Sunken Treasure, and I don't remember this deep blue. So again, I will pop it on the screen, but that is used for this like kind of inner and outer linery part. And then on my lid, all over my lid and over here, is this shade, which is a shade from the Monk palette by Fantasy Cosmetica. And then on my lids, I used my Cleo Nut Shine On primer. And my main primer underneath the matte is the Catrice Grip to Last eyeshadow primer, by the way. But the Cleo Nut primer, and then I have this shade, which is called Just a Dream from Makeup Beauty Shop on the lid. This one, which is from Sinful Echoes, and it's called Riptide, in the inner corner, like on the top of the inner corner. I didn't want it to cover the blue. And then this shade called Medusa on my lower lash line. It's such a beautiful look. Like I love these shades. It's a very inspiring color story, and I love this look. I feel like that look is just absolutely stunning. So what I actually used, I talked about the pencil from Glisten, the dark blue Spectra paints. Then I have my Catrice Fake It Volume and False Lash Mascara that I'm currently in the process of reviewing or like testing. And I have that on my top lash and on my bottom lash. I actually have this Essence All Eyes on Me Multi-Effect Mascara because there's not a lot of product there, so it doesn't really look all that great on top lashes, but it's perfect for bottom lashes. I just want them to like slightly be burnt black, but I don't want them to be like spidery. And since this mascara is new and it has a lot of product on the wand, my bottom lashes would be a little bit too crazy for this look. And since it's more like elongated look, I don't want to drag it down with long lashes on the bottom, but I just want it a little bit. So that's what's there. I'm testing the Catrice Soft Glam Filter Stick. This one is the Glow Booster in the shade 010 Fair Light, which I've actually used in my full face of Catrice that I talked about. And I have that all over my face. And then I also used my L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation in powder. I kind of powdered the center of my face with this. And this one is a little bit darker, so it fits more now that I have a bit more tan. And again, this one is in my like monthly Shop My Stash because I'm still kind of working on my like review of this. I don't think I've featured it in my monthly haul yet, so it's gonna be in my monthly haul that I'm gonna film in like a week and a bit. And I want to use a couple more times to make sure that I actually know what I'm talking about when I'm gonna review it. Concealer is the Catrice Insta Bright Serum Concealer Medium Coverage in the shade 001N. It's really light. Like I'm probably gonna get away with this in the winter, or maybe I can use it to lighten my like other foundations, but it's definitely too light on me for like daily use. And then on my lips, I have this Catrice Creamy Nudes Lip Pen in the shade 050 Happy Hazelnut. It's kind of like a jumbo pencil. It's a really nice kind of brownie one. It's very like hazelnutty color. So I have that as a liner. It's actually really comfortable. I feel like you could use it as a lipstick as well. It is quite like soft. I think it's gonna transfer a lot and I don't think it's smudge proof. But it is very comfortable formula. So as a lipstick, I feel like it could work. And I'm using my Project Pan lipstick, which is the Oden's Eye and Angelica Nyquist Halloween bundle lipstick, the matte one in the shade Swamp Fog. I have the red one and then this terracotta one, and I feel like I'm closer to finishing this terracotta one, so I've been really like focused on this one to be able to eventually like roll it out, because I would love to finish it by the end of the year. And I feel like I'm getting closer and closer, like it's getting really, really light. Blush is the Revolution Fast Base Blush in the shade Peach. Then a highlighter. I've actually mixed my Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette and the shade Pluto over here that I don't have much of with my palette crush of the month, which is the Glam Shop Sorbet palette, and the shade Meatos. I kind of wanted to play on with these like soft tealy shades and the warmth of the brown. So this is how the cheeks look like. In fact, it's a beautiful combination and I'm enjoying a lot actually. So that's for the face. I also forgot to mention I have my Somona 2 from Oden's Eye. And one of my focus shades for this month is the shade Meteor, this soft sparkly purple, and I actually have that on my brow bone because it just works like that. I wanted to like add on a little bit of that sparkle and a little bit of that purple, but all the other shimmers, I feel like they're too sparkly and they have too much of like color, so it would be very obvious on the brow bone. But this one, I feel like it also like matches kind of the cheeks. So that's what I used. And I don't know if I mentioned my brows. So and for my brows, I'm mixing the shade New Leaf from the Merry Christmas palette that I'm like really getting good use on with the Sweet as Can Be palette from Colourpop, and the shade In My Tumbly to make it work, like because this would be way too red and way too like dark with my hair. This makes it slightly more, the green shade makes it slightly more like gray, which usually your brows are cooler toned than your hair. And I have the Maybelline Super Lock. Hi guys, so here's my second final look with my dupe of the Cryptane Sunset Symphony, something like that. So today for this look I have used the Catrice Grip to Last eyeshadow primer. Today I've used this pink shade as a liner. This pink shade is actually from this palette, I think it's called Toe Beans. And then I've used these two shades, the lighter one in the inner half and the darker one in the outer half, and both are from the Monk palette by Fantasy Cosmetica. Then on my lids, I've used the Cleonat Shine On Shimmer Primer, and the shade Enigma from Makeup Beauty Shop is on most of my lid. And then I have this shade, which I think is called Biscuits. And I have that in the outer part, and then in the inner part I have this shimmer shade, and this is from the Monk palette. It's the first shade on the first top row. So that's for the eyes. So for the rest of the face, I have my Revolution Streamline Eyeliner Pencil in the shade Hot Pink in my waterline. I just felt like it will match the liner quite nicely. I have this Panorama Mascara from L'Oreal on my top lashes, and then Essence All Eyes on Me mascara on my bottom lashes because I'm very close to finish it and it doesn't really work on my top lashes anymore. It's a little bit too dry. And then I have the Super Stick Concealer from Maybelline in the shade 10. Under my on my under eyes, I have this NYX Buttermelt Blush in the shade Sune de Bade, because it's currently in my like everyday makeup drawer for August, and this is how it looks like. It's a beautiful orange. It's just such a, like, I've been panning a lot of orange eyeshadows, and I've been using orange eyeshadows as a blush, and I kind of forget that blush is actually not supposed to be that pigmented. So this one, I felt like I need to use very little, and then I realized, oh wait, this is not eyeshadow, like I can actually go ham and it's not gonna be like crazy. So this one is beautiful. I'm so happy that I get to use it again. On my lips, I have the Odin's Eye and Angelica Nico's Halloween lipstick, and this one is the matte one in the shade Shadow Creature. It's a beautiful reddish color, and it's been actually kind of harder to apply it today because the applicator had very little product on it, so I feel like maybe we're actually getting to the bottom. I already tried to take the stopper out, but I can't do that. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried to do that with these Odin's Eye lipsticks, but it is so hard, and I wasn't able to do that on any of my lipsticks from this collection. And I forgot highlighter. So I have the Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette and the shade Pluto. I'm scraping the last bit, and I mixed it with my Glam Shop Sorbeti palette and the shade Essenzia's Brosquini. Yeah, Essenzia's Brosquini. To make it a little bit more iridescent, sparkly. And I mean, I love this look. Hi guys, so here's another look. Today I decided to do this like frosty look because I'm actually panning a lot of blue eyeshadows currently, and I really wanted to get a good use on them. So let me kind of walk you through what I've used. I have mixed a little bit of my New Leaf shade is currently in this Liana palette. This one is from the Merry Christmas pattern. I don't know if I actually forgot to show this palette for a while, even though I've been using it. But I don't know if I've actually showed it in any diaries, so I feel like the pan has expanded a lot. And I mixed that with my Cosmic Beauty Undergrowth palette and the shade Sludge, this one, to create this kind of like I don't know, like slightly reddish brown. I feel like it's like a neutral version that goes with these hairs, that goes with this hair color, even though it's not like fully the same color, but it's still like neutral enough and in this right color spectrum. But let me know what you think. And as always, I'm using my Superlock Brow Glue. Then as my primer, I'm using the Art Deco eyeshadow base. This is like my everyday makeup drawer products for this month. And for the eyeshadows, so I have a couple of my Penta palette eyeshadows and also one of my Pentos eyeshadows here. So I have this shade from the Christmas Eve palette by Odin's Eye, and I think this is called Night Sky, if I remember that correctly. Yeah, it's called Night Sky. And I've used it kind of like in the outer part on the entire lid and then slightly in the outer corner because I wanted to like really get some good use out of it. And before I used this shade today, there was just a pen showing in the center, like there was a little dot, but because the layer is pretty much just like a one ply of toilet paper thin, I don't think I have more than 2 uses in this shadow. I don't know if you can see, but like it's literally just like a little soft layer. And yeah, it took 1 use to get most of the pen gone. So this one is definitely going down. I'm gonna try to use it like 1 or 2 more times because I feel like it really doesn't have more product in it than that. And I combined it with this light blue, which is from the Legend of Korra palette, and it's called the Waterbending, which is currently in my Pentos eyeshadow. So I will be mixing these two, and I will be just using these two until I use up this or hit pan on this. So that's kind of my goal right now. And I use that shade all throughout the first half of the lid, and then slightly blending out the deep blue in the outer corner. I use this shade, which is called Nowhere, from the Christmas Eve palette. I haven't really been focusing on this shade a lot lately, but I want to start because I still have quite a bit of it left, and I want to use up that palette by the end of the year. If we were able to do it by the end of like November, that would be perfect. So I really have to pick up a speed on this shade. I feel like I could maybe use it on my brows, like maybe it could work with maybe like a red color. I'm gonna try to do that. But I really want to like pick a speed with that, and yeah. I have so many shades I'm trying to like completely use up this month. So it's a little bit, not stressful, but like hectic, I would say. And then for the shimmer shades, I've used my Shine On Shimmer Enhancer from Cleonat. I don't know if I like this one. Like, I feel like if I want to make the eyeshadows look really nice, I have to use my finger for the shimmers, which with NYX Glitter Primer, I didn't have to do that. So I'm not sure if I'm actually enjoying this or not. And I think it's also about formulas. Like, it really depends on the formula of the shimmer shade, but a lot of formulas seem to only work for me with this primer if I use my hands, which I'm not too happy about. On my lids, I have the shade Milky Way in the second half and the shade Encounter in the first half, and these are from my Galactic Visitor palette from Cindy Beauty. This is, like, again, in my makeup drawer for this month. And I wanted to focus on this one because it's beautiful. So there's two shimmers from here, and then I have the Silvery Snake from Liana in my inner corner because I would like to use it up again. It's one of my Pendos palettes for this month. For this year. It would be hard to pen it in a month. In my waterline, I have the Spectra pencil in the shade White from Glisten Cosmetics. I have this Spectra lash from Glisten in the shade White on my lashes. I just love a white mascara, and I just wanted to do that. And then I have my Superstay Concealer from Maybelline, the shade number 10, the Uden's Eye and Angelica Nyquist Halloween Bundle lipstick, and this one is the Shadow Creature, and it's the matte one. Then, as a blush, I'm actually using my Sorbeti palette by Glam Shop, and I've mixed the shade Malinovsky with the shade Nepozorny, so these two as a blush, and I actually used Nepozorny with Mrzna Kava as a little bit of bronzer, but like teeny tiny. And then for my highlighter, I mixed the shade Lavandova Perla with my Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette and the central shade, which is called Cosmic, to just kind of expand the pan a little bit. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. So that's everything that I'm using today. Let me know what you think about this look. I'm very much enjoying this this look. I think it's super fun. And yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to another look. And today I'm mainly focused on the Ocean Jewel palette by Bella Beauty Bar, because when I was reviewing this palette for my initial review, I said that I would really want to do a look with this column. I don't know, even though it's kind of neutral, it was calling to me. And I don't think I've ever done a look similar to this, which I've been doing a lot of looks for quite a while, so you know, it's hard not to be repetitive unless you do like some crazy shape. So let me kind of walk you through all I've used. We're gonna start with brows because that's what I always start with. And I combined my Haggard Ecstasy of Saintess and a shade that I'm trying to hit a pan on, which is the shade Midnight Oat. And do not make it like fully brown. I still want it to have like a pinky tone to it. I used my Smitten palette from Diaveron and the shade Right Meow, this one. So that's what's in my brows. And then I'm using the Super Look Brow Glue from Maybelline. This is a really good one. I'm using it all the time. I have my Art Deco eyeshadow base. And then I went in, I started with the shade Sundial, which is this neon-y yellow. And then I took this thing, I don't know how it's called, for like cleaning your ears, Q-tip, that's how it's called, with a little bit of Vaseline on it, just a little bit. And I cut the crease, reapplied a little bit of that primer, and went in with the shade Conch, I think that's how you call it, or how you pronounce it. So Conch is all over my lid, and I kind of blended it out into this like sharper, longer look. And then I have the shade Tortoise, this one, which is kind of like a brown, but it's like a reddish brown, kind of like a burgundy almost. And I have that as a liner. I did just like a little bit of liner. I didn't want it to make it like fully like crazy. And I love this eyeliner shape. Sometimes I'm not able to do this evenly, but I feel like today it is quite even, and I love this eyeliner. Like every single time I'm able to do this particular eyeliner shape and size, I'm so happy. And then in my inner corner, I have the Mother of Pearl. Which is beautiful. It's actually a holochrome, or I don't know if it's described that way, but I feel like it is a holochrome, unless I'm completely tripping, which I mean, I could be. And on my lower lash line, I actually decided to use shade that I thought I'm gonna pan in the past like 4 uses, and it still didn't happen. It's the Sombra Dupa by Unat's Eye, and the shade Solar, this one. Like, do you see the dip? Do you actually see the dip? It is so huge. I mean, I know that these are really deep. Like, I think you can see it from the other shades as well, but like, come on. I really want to have dip in this before I'm gonna update my Pendos palette, which is in like less than 2 weeks. It's almost 2 weeks. So, you know, come on. So that one, I think that's everything for my eyeshadow. So I have this Catrice Kohl Kajal waterproof pencil in the shade 110 Orange O'Clock, because you know I wanted to match it to the lower lash line. Then I have this Essential Lies on Me mascara. I feel like today it looks really pretty. Maybelline Superstay Concealer in the shade 10 under my eyes. Blush, I'm using the NYX Buttermelt blush in the shade Soon at the bottom. And this is the shade. It's really pretty. Oh, sorry. It wasn't focused. So this is the shade. And as a highlighter, I'm mixing my Mini Charms by Beauty Bay and the shade Pluto. This one. With my Glam Shop Sorbet palette and the shade Essenzias Brosquini, this one, to have this like glowy orange cheek. I'm really enjoying this look. Like, I'm actually enjoying it. I might recreate this with like different brands as well. Then I have this Catrice Generation Joy lip liner. I recently filmed my full face of Catrice, and I bought 3 lip liners. I had one that's described as lip plumping that I tried in the video, and then I wanted to try this one, which I forgot to read what it actually says, because it has plumping effect as well. This one is very creamy. I feel like it does smudge a bit, so it's more like a lipstick. And it contains menthol, in case you're wondering, so it's not like, you know, red pepper or something. It's menthol. It's not too bad. It's just slightly tingly. It doesn't really hurt. And it's a beautiful orange. The shade is C01 True Tangerine. This is how it looks like. So I'm trying it for the first time. It feels nice, but as I said, it's probably gonna transfer a lot if you're gonna use it. And for the second time, I'm using this Catrice lip oil. It's the Catrice Summer Lips Lip Glaze in CO2 Orange Spritz. And this smells very orangey. Like a orange soda. It's such a nice scent. I really love it. So that's such a cute little packaging. And as you can see, it's very, like, they call it glaze, but it's like a lip oil. It's very lightweight, very comfortable, very hydrating. As I said, this is my second, maybe even third time using this. And yeah, it feels super nice on the lips. So that is the look. Let me kind of show you a little bit more of a closer look on this. I really like this look. Like, I'm genuinely, even though it's kind of neutrally, the fact that there's the pop of the neon, that really works for me. I feel like I could even do this with like lighter taupey shade, but even this kind of grayish one feels really cool. And I'm enjoying the Ocean Jewel palette very much. I think this is like my 8th look. This is like, I think I've done like 8 looks with this palette so far, maybe even 9. And it's amazing. I'm really enjoying this. I definitely want to do like a purple teal look, maybe in a couple days. But yeah, I have so many shades I still want to use before I'm gonna film my monthly haul with this. Let me know what shades you think I should use, or like what color story I should focus on with this palette. And I will link in the little card my review of this in case you want to see. I think I created 4 looks. No, maybe 3 looks actually. But I definitely created a couple different looks with this. Hey guys, so today I created a look with this dragon fruit inspired BYOP that I filmed for my Instagram. So yeah, those are kind of all of the shades that I've used for today. In my brows, I mixed this shade and this shade. They're both from the Smith & Palette by Diavrune. And this one is Right Meow. And the one on the top, kind of more like a grayish one, is called Catnap. This is how it looks like. So I have these two in my brows together with this Super Luck Brow Glue from Maybelline. Then I have this Art Deco eyeshadow primer. I actually need to use brush at this point because I can't get there with my finger. And then I did this like halo eye because I wanted to recreate kind of like the, you know, like the inside of the dragon fruit is like lighter and then the outside is darker. So I started with this light pink, which is called Pokemon Center. It's from the Pokemon Palette by Colourpop. Then I have this shade. I think this is Persuasive, but let me actually check. No, Formidable. Formidable from the Smith & Palette. And that is kind of in the like inner half, or like, you know, inner third and outer third. And then I have the this one is from Glam Shop, and it's the shade called Raspberry Cream. It's a single, I don't know if they still have it, and that is in the inner and outer part, like really encasing it there. Then I have the Shine On Shimmer Primer from Cleonut, and I've used this shade in the inner and outer part, like inner part of the lid and outer part of the lid. This one is called Biscuit. It's from the Smith & Palette again. And I have this shade, which is called Aksamitny Brass, and it's from the Mushlinova palette from Glam Shop. I depotted those shades. The same goes, and this one is kind of like more close to the center, and then in the absolute center of the lid, I have this shade, which is also from the Mushlinova palette, and this one is Polyester Deluxe. And then I have this in the inner corner. And this one is called Persuasive. So those are all the shades. And then I have this Udden's Eye Summon Gel Liner gel liner in the waterline, and it's the shade 01. I have this Essence All Eyes on Me mascara. And then I have Super Stay Concealer from Maybelline in the shade 10. Revolution Fast Beast Blush in the shade Peach on my cheeks. Then I have this lipstick. This is the Black Moon Cosmetics, how's it called? Liquid to Matte Lipstick in the shade Ghost. I feel like it fits so well with this look and with everything. Like, I love how monochrome this is. How monochromatic this is. And then as a cheek highlight, I mean, look at how, so pretty. So I mixed my mini Charms palette by Beauty Bay and the shade Aurora, this pinky one. You can see that I use it a lot. There's a huge dip happening in there. So Aurora, and I mixed Aurora with one of my focused shades from the Salmon Two palette by Udden's Eye, and it's the shade Meteor, this one. I'm trying to use it 20 times, and I've been doing really good with that. So that's another shade that I have used. And I think this is everything for this particular look. Hi guys, so welcome back to the last look of this video, I believe. But also I haven't really checked, so maybe it's not. Today I did a very basic look. I've actually been wearing this look for the past 3 weeks, like all the time. And I decided that since today it's slightly more interesting and I've used a little bit more like interesting palettes, I'm gonna share it with you. But I'm working on my Project Pan products and like shades that I'm trying to completely use up from my Pendos palettes. So it's a little bit... I've been kind of getting bored, but I'm so close. Spoilers. So yeah, anyways, for brows, because we always start with that, the Smitten palette from Davrin. I've actually been wearing this on my brows for the past 4 days, and I've been loving the shade match. I feel like it fits really nicely with my hair color, so that's what I'm gonna be using. This is my predicament to use this palette, so it's great that I get to use it. And since I already have it on my brows, I'm way more likely to also use the other shades for my eyes as well. So I use the shade Red Meow. It's very vibrant, almost like a raspberry pink. And I mixed that with a little bit of the Haggard Ecstasy of Saintess palette that is currently my Project Level Up. And I've mixed that with the shade Midnight Oat, this deepest shade. So I have that in my brows. Then I'm also using the Maybelline Super Lock Brow Glue and Art Deco eyeshadow base. That's just what I've been using, I think, in every single look. And then for the eyeshadows, so am I gonna show you how it looks like right now? I feel like that would be a huge spoiler, because I feel like this is... I don't know if tomorrow or yesterday I uploaded the kind of my plans for project planning for next year, and I've been using these there, but I filmed that video quite a while ago, and I said that I don't want to spoil how these palettes look like, so I'm just gonna pop up a picture from last month, because these are the shades that I'm currently trying to use up. One is repressed here in the Eliana palette from Shall We Makeup, and it's the shade New Leaf from Merry Christmas palette. I have that all over the lid, in my crease, like everywhere, on the lower lash line, everywhere. Then in this Earth palette from Odense, I also have repressed the Christmas tree shade from the Merry Christmas palette, which is all in my outer corner. So I've used these two shades. I'm not gonna show how they look like, because I don't want to spoil anything. So these are on my eyes, and I also use, because I had a couple of shades in this Candy Kingdom palette from Little Cosmetics that I've only used once, and I want to use them preferably 3 times, but at least 2 times before I'm gonna fill my haul, which will be in a couple of days. And I use the shade Choco in the inner part and also under the brows, so I'm kind of mixing and blending the previous 2 shades into my skin tone, because this is definitely way more my skin tone than the cool toned greens. And then I have the Shine On Shimmer Enhancer from Cleona. Yesterday for me started the Cleona anniversary sale, and I bought the... I thought I'm gonna be able to get the palette, the... how is it called? The new iridescent palette. And when I was about to pay for my order, it got sold out, so I had to buy the pre-order from the... I know it's a pun. I can't remember what the word is though. But yeah, I bought that, and I bought a couple nail polishes, so it should be shipping in the beginning of September, so hopefully by the end of September I will have the palette in my hands. But yeah, this is the Shimmer Enhancer. It's not my favorite thing. I think I've already mentioned that a couple times. It doesn't really... it only works with eyeshadows that are really good and sparkly on their own anyways. So, you know, not that much of a help. And then you can't see it because it's actually covered with different shadow, but I'm using the... I'm gonna cover the shade, but I'm using the shade Full Bloom in the outer part, just because I want to also use up this shade eventually before the end of the year. So that one. And then I'm also using Lemon Grab from the Candy Kingdom palette in the first half of the lid, and then Ice Cream Guy in the second half of the lid. And then in my inner corner, I have another Project 20 Uses palette, and the Undergrowth palette by Cosmic Beauty. And I've used the shade Vegetation because I feel like it fits perfectly with this eye look. And I've also used the shade Bark as a liner. And I've actually smoked out, so the liner is only here. And I smoked it out on the on the upper lash line with this shade from the Haggard palette. This one is called Kenosis because I want to hit a pan on this. Obviously, it's my Project Level Up palette, and so I decided to have a little bit of use that way. And then I'm using for the first time this green Spectra pencil from Glisten, and it's quite a nice one. It's like a very vibrant green, kind of like mid-tone, very vibrant green. I am enjoying that. I just realized I don't have lipstick. But anyways, I have this Essence All Eyes on Me mascara. I'm gonna put on a lipstick because I actually did my makeup, and then right after that we went to get a lunch, so I wasn't like, there's no point applying lipstick if I'm immediately gonna go and have a lunch and like destroy it. But I'm using the Udens Eye and Angelica Nico's collection from the Halloween bundle. And this one is the Shadow Creature. Yeah, Shadow Creature is the matte one. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of like harder to apply because it's getting kind of dry, and it's also like the applicator doesn't really have a lot of product on it. I was definitely able to do my entire lips with just one application. And nowadays I kind of have to go back inside the packaging a couple times. You know what I hate? I know how many people are trying to like make their lips bigger and going to all those procedures, and I don't want bigger lips. I just want my lips to be even because one half of the lip is bigger than the other, and one part of the cupid's bow is higher than the other. That makes it honestly very hard to apply lipstick. So yeah, that's the lipstick that I'm wearing. I just love I love this combination. I know it's kind of Christmassy, but since I only have two lipsticks that I'm trying to pan, and one is red and one is like terracotta brownie orange, obviously I'm gonna go with the red one. I don't even care if it doesn't fit. I have the Superstay Concealer in the shade 10 every single time. I feel like I don't even need to mention it at this point. Then the Revolution Fast Base Blush in the shade Peach. I've actually made a lot of progress. Like, I only have this much. And you can see that it's kind of strange, but I actually deposited a little bit of this in a single metal pan, like one of my clean empty pans that I had for my eyeshadows, because you can also use this on the lips, but I don't want to use it simultaneously. I know how to write it. I'm not completely sure how to pronounce that word. Anyways, I want to use it on my cheeks and then go with the same product on my lips. Just, you know, bacteria, hello. So I depotted part in a empty magnetic pan, and I'm using that on my lips in the evening, or when I just want to go out, but I don't want to have like lipstick on my face, because this is more like a colorful lip balm. So I have that as a blush, and then I'm mixing 2 shades of eyeshadow for highlighter. So I have the Sorbet palette by Glam Shop, and I'm using the shade Miatus with the Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and the shade I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you, the shade Pluto. And I'm just scraping the last little bits of the pan. I think like I might be able to use it 2 more times on my face as a highlighter. I definitely can't use it on my lids anymore because it's too little of a product. But I'm gonna use it to mix it again with something from the Sorbet palette to use it on my face. And then we're gonna have 1 shade done from this palette. By the way, what I haven't used yet today, but I will do it probably in a couple hours because I still want to go outside. But lately I've been mixing the shade Nepozorny, Mrožná káva, and then the shade New Leaf. I will pop up again how it looked like last month so that you know what shade I'm talking about. I've been mixing these three to create kind of like or sometimes I was even mixing it with, that's actually been happening more often. Wait, I can't show you the Christmas tree shade. With this shade from the Christmas Eve pad, this is called Softly because this is very warm brown and very like orangey brown, and then the shade New Leaf is very cool toned green. So I would mix these two with the shade Nepozorny, which is the like beigey skin toned like shade, to create kind of like a almost like slightly cooler toned, like cool olive bronzer. I don't have it on today because I still kind of want to go outside, and I don't like having bronzer on when I'm around people. Like, I'm okay with my family, but I feel weird having bronzer and being outside with like strangers looking at me. I don't mind having like crazy eyeshadows, but for some reason bronzer just looks weird for me. So, especially when it's made out of eyeshadows. So, but I'm gonna use it later in the day. It's still there's still many hours before it's gonna be the evening, so I'm gonna use it that way. It's been another way how I've been making a huge progress on both of the eyeshadows, actually, both the shade Softly and the shade New Leaf. So that's kind of a little bit of how I also use these on my face to make it work for me. And am I wearing anything else? I feel like this is everything that I have on my face. So yeah, but I've been wearing this look very often, sometimes without the liner, sometimes with even blue liner or deeper liner, or with white liner. And sometimes I've been mixing the shimmer, so sometimes it's more like mid green, sometimes it's a little bit more blue, sometimes it's this kind of goldy green. But I've been wearing that a lot to use these shades up. We're getting close. I really hope I'm gonna be able to do that before my Pendos eyeshadows update. I still have like what, 11 days before I'm gonna update. For me, 11 days, so I could do that. I'm gonna focus on them, but it's getting kind of like, since I'm so close, it's getting very annoying. And it hasn't been that bad, but like the past couple of uses, I've been very much like just like get rid of it. But also I just, if I were to use up these two shades, that would just give me so much more freedom with the other palettes that I'm panning. So I'm just really hopeful that that will happen. Anyways, I feel like this is the last video or the last look. So let me know what you thought about this collection of vlogs. Which one was your favorite? I hope you've learned something new here or got an inspiration. And let me know what's your like go-to look or product that you're currently wearing repeatedly. And with that being said, have a wonderful day, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow with another video. So bye.